Hole number 17, beautiful little par 4. It has more in it than it might look like. So here again is a situation, I'll probably pull up the tee situation, that most people just ignore. There's no alarm bells ringing. For me, there's alarm bells everywhere. There is a tree line on the left side here, which literally blocks every driver shot, even 5 woods and 3 woods, and just smashing into them. You might get over it if you're an advanced player. You might get over it with a 5 hybrid. You might get over this area. So the fairway literally is over here. That's water. So we have to either get over it to then land somewhere over there, or we have to go this way, so we have to be able to curve the ball left, or we have to be aware of the situation that when we are on the tee box, which is on the bottom left here, when we're playing up here, we have a run out situation depending on what direction we take, because these trees, they block. So if you're a slicer, you're just looking for trouble if you go with long clubs. This is again a situation where alarm bells have to ring. A golfer has to step up to the hole and go, oops. And even better if he doesn't get up to the hole and goes, oops, he prepares it back at home, because then he knows what distance he has off the tee. He knows what he can play and what he shouldn't play. So he doesn't come up there and then take decision lighthearted. That is one thing. Alarm bell, wrist control, and ball flight control obviously comes with it. It usually, for me, for higher handicappers, it's kind of like recognizing that a 7 or a 6 iron, playing it in here somewhere, is absolutely okay. And then what you do is you literally create a zone which your landing area is somewhere in here, depending on your level. Your landing up area is somewhere in here, and then from there, if you're in the upper half, you can still try and get there. Although it's still quite far. It's like 140 uphill and 150 maybe. So you kind of like better players, they'll go for this zone here. They'll have a hybrid in their hands and then go over the trees. That's the only worry here is losing it to the right. So you have to know how to create a left curve off the tee, so nothing bad happens to it. And then it's literally, for higher handicappers, is literally to place the ball somewhere in here, which will be somewhere over here with an iron, and then from there go somewhere over here into that area, and then from there go onto the green. So it's kind of like realizing how many meters do we have for the first shot, how many meters do we have for the second shot. That's kind of like what the plan is, like to find out what kind of shots you have to play. We then have sometimes situations like this where the palm tree in the middle is really obstructing the golf ball. That's also something I like to do, just to give them a little try what happens when the backswing is kind of like inhibited. And they have to deal with that they have to either go through the branches or try and chip it out, whatever they feel like is comfortable to them. And then we have pitch shots around the green. There's all types of pitch shots, over a bunker sometimes, and then depending on what lie and the flag has, what position the flag has, it can also be a short flag. So we then have to kind of like deal with the situation that this grass, which is Kikuyu grass, usually stops every ball, so going low is not really an option, so it's only high. So there's quite a few good practice themes in here. So no one becomes a successful golfer without learning to distinguish between an aggressive and a defensive shot. A golfer has to know when to be aggressive and when to be defensive. And if there is obviously difficulties by design, that means the golfer has to control direction really well. So you want to take golf clubs you control really well and play a bit more defensive rather than aggressive, and just ignore everything and just smack a driver up here where 3/4 of the shots end up there and another quarter end up here, and 1 out of 10 goes there. And you'll be the king for that one shot, but all the rest is trouble. When we practice, so a daily practice challenge, that's also something that I like to give golfers, that before they finish, they have one job or one exercise. And I did a little deep dive into 31 challenges, so one per day, So number one could be sink 3 consecutive putts from 1.5 meters, and you have 5 attempts. So you have to sink 3 in a row. If you don't sink 3 in a row, that's 1 goal, and you have 5 goals. So then you'll be able to actually say, I have done it, or I have not done it. If you don't have, if you didn't achieve success, then you just leave it open for the next one, for the next time. So the second could be an 18-meter pitch from semi. First cut, that the ball has to make, you have to drop the ball and then make an up and down. So you have 4 goals, and you can try and make an up and down from 18 meters out of the first cut. If you achieve an up and down with 4 attempts, fantastic. If not, you keep it for the next time. Bunker shot from 10 meters, 4 different lies. 3 or 4 have to be on the green. Then the next one could be a virtual par 3 from 120 meters. You imagine a green, and then you hit the green 3 times in a row. That's also kind of like a visualization exercise, and then having some discipline to actually say I did it or I didn't do it. So there is different exercises that go in here, and then you have some question on the bottom that can help you to kind of like create a better understanding for your for the golf game. So this is kind of like a typical practice plan that we give out to people so they can practice with more purpose.